Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
$170 million man? Micah Parsons' next Dallas Cowboys contract will set records. With the ever-increasing salary cap, plus the market value for premium positions continuing to rise, the Dallas Cowboys are about to enter into a serious pickle. Not only does Dak Prescott need a new long-term deal, as does superstar wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Oh, by the way, don't forget about pass-rushing phenom Micah Parsons, who is quickly approaching his own lucrative record-setting deal to stay in Dallas. Potential movement on the Parsons front happened when the Jacksonville Jaguars inked Josh Allen to a 5-year, $150 million extension earlier this week. That is $30 million annual value for Allen, who exploded to a career-best 17.5 sack campaign last season during his contract year. Comparing Allen to Parsons over the last 3 seasons, it leans heavily in favor of the Cowboys' star. Allen inking his own lucrative deal now sets the bare minimum floor for contract negotiations with Parsons. Parsons will demand he tops Allen's deal, and he deserves that alone based on head-to-head pass rush production. A fair market value for Parsons now leans more in the Aaron Donald stratosphere. Look back to what Donald signed on his last deal with the Los Angeles Rams, $95 million over 3 years. Donald carried an annual contract value of $31.6 million. Now, factoring in market inflation, Parsons should be looking in the neighborhood of $32 million AAV at minimum. Would Parsons' camp and the Cowboys agree upon a proposed structure paying him $160 million over 5 years? Not only does this top Allen's figure, but also the Donald deal as well. Parsons is ready to break records for defensive players, in terms of finances. Not only will Parsons want higher than Allen and Donald, but go ahead and parse over the record-breaking contract for Nick Bosa. The San Francisco 49ers signed Bosa to a 5-year, $170 million deal, which is already proving its weight in gold for their organization. Bosa has Parsons beat out in pass rush statistics like sacks, 44 versus 40, and pressures, 149 versus 131, since 2021-22, but everyone knows the next up in line at this point is making history. Whether it be quarterbacks, wide receivers, cornerbacks or defensive linemen, record-setting deals are becoming the new normal every offseason. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office better be ready to fork over maybe more than they ever expected, because Parsons will want $35+ million in annual value. So, is Dallas ready to pay up to the tune of $175 million over 5 years? Cowboys floated as potential option for former 2-8 TD QB. The Dallas Cowboys could be an ideal landing spot for a polarizing quarterback. The Cowboys will likely enter the draft without a contract extension in place for Dak Prescott. That means Dallas could very well be without its starting quarterback following the 2024 season. With that in mind, Dallas could very well target a quarterback at some point during the 2024 NFL Draft. As Fox Sports suggests, the Cowboys could consider potential options such as Bo Nix or Michael Penix with their 24th overall pick in the first round. However, if Dallas doesn't land one of the second-tier quarterback options late in the first round, they could always target a player such as South Carolina's Spencer Rattler in the later rounds of the draft. Rattler is a projected third-round pick. That said, Penix, Washington, and Nix, Oregon, were each 2023 Heisman Trophy finalists and had decorated 2-year stints at their respective school. South Carolina's Spencer Rattler is another potential option for Dallas. Spencer Rattler was considered favorite to win Heisman Trophy. The 23-year-old Rattler was once considered the top quarterback in the nation. Coming out of high school in 2019, Rattler was considered the top quarterback prospect in the nation. It didn't take him long to make his impact felt at the collegiate level. During the 2020 season, Rattler emerged as the Oklahoma Sooners' starting quarterback and led the team to a 9-2 record and Big 12 championship. He threw for 28 touchdowns against 7 interceptions. Entering the 2021 season, Rattler was considered the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. However, as quickly as Rattler's star rose, it fell. Despite going 6-0 as the starter to begin the season, he was replaced by Caleb Williams in the Sooners' rivalry matchup with the Texas Longhorns after turning the ball over twice and trailing 35-17. Caleb Williams, the projected number 1 pick in this year's draft, then led the Sooners to a 55-48 win after trailing by 21 points. Rattler never started another game for the Sooners. He then transferred to South Carolina where he started over the past 2 seasons. While he never regained the elite form that made him a potential candidate for the Heisman Trophy in Oklahoma, he had steady success with the Gamecocks. Rattler led the Gamecocks to an 8-5 record during the 2022 season, including a number 23 finish in the AP polls. During the 2023 season, Rattler threw 19 touchdowns against 8 interceptions for a career-high 3,186 passing yards. Why Spencer Rattler is considered a polarizing prospect. As Corey Bonini of The Huddle notes, Rattler is a polarizing prospect due to his smallish frame at just 6 feet tall. However, his arm talent is up there with the very best prospects in this year's draft, including Williams. South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler may be somewhat of a polarizing prospect due to his smallish frame and ball security concerns versus plus passing traits and mobility. The Cowboys are considered a sleeper team to select a quarterback in the draft, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Considering Dallas is still sending the message that they plan to offer Prescott a long-term contract, selecting Rattler in the middle rounds of the draft accomplishes 2 things. It gives them an insurance policy and it doesn't send the message that he's a direct threat to Prescott. Cowboys news. Adam Schefter believes Dallas will aim to draft Dak Prescott's replacement. The Dallas Cowboys might be buying into a reality where Dak Prescott is no longer their franchise quarterback. The 8-year veteran has yet to reach a Super Bowl, despite being one of the better players in the league. The narrative that he doesn't show up when needed could also be the catalyst for Cowboys owner Jerry Jones allowing Prescott to walk after the 2024 season. Prescott is playing in a contract year, but Jones has hinted plenty that the team could be aiming to move on from the 3-time Pro Bowler. While Jones has not stated explicitly that Prescott won't be on the Cowboys in 2025, the growing consensus is a breakup is inevitable. Many analysts believe that Prescott is on his way out, including longtime NFL analyst at ESPN Adam Schefter. Schefter joined NFL Live, where he spoke on why the Cowboys could be in the market for a quarterback when the draft kicks off at the end of the month. What about Jerry? What are they going to do at quarterback if they lose Dak? That's interesting. That's why I think the Dallas Cowboys might just be a sleeper team in the quarterback market during the draft, because at some point in time, they may have to draft a quarterback higher than you think at some point in time because Dak is going into the final year of his contract, Schefter tells the NFL Live crew. Schefter also points out that the Cowboys found Prescott in the 4th round, and allowed him to sit behind Tony Romo. While extenuating circumstances regarding injuries to quarterbacks Romo and Kellen Moore led to Prescott starting in 2016, he was not slated to do so. If the Cowboys do choose a quarterback in the draft, it could be a more developmental player who will sit behind a veteran for at least 1 season. The good news is that even though many quarterback-needy teams will select signal callers early on, the Cowboys could still find a potential starter in the later rounds. Someone like Oregon's Bo Nix could fall to the Cowboys at pick number 56 in the 2nd round. Then again, the Cowboys could flirt with the idea of taking Nix or Washington's Michael Penix Jr. at pick number 24 in the 1st round. It just depends on whether Jones sees the quarterback position as the team's top need. The Cowboys taking a quarterback in the 1st or 2nd round might also signify that Prescott will be leaving the team after the 2024 season. Or it could signify that Jones will allow Prescott to remain with the team while he trains his eventual replacement. However, this would require a new contract for Prescott after this season, which doesn't appear to be in the cards for Jones. The Cowboys do have Trey Lance waiting in the wings, but his sample size hasn't quite indicated if he can be a viable starter moving forward. Lance could be the in-between quarterback for whoever the team happens to draft unless he comes out in 2025 and impresses the entire organization.